One of the strangest new metal bands around is Wasp, a California-based quartet who routinely throw chunks of raw meat into their audiences, and whose leader, Blackie Lawless, drinks blood from a human skull. Blackie explains how the group's bizarre stage act came together.
We were looking for a way to make a living. I mean, some people will do anything to keep from working, you know what I mean? We started out, oddly enough, as a recording band. And a lot of people don't know that. We never really had any intention of ever playing live, and we went in and we did some demos. And the demos turned out to be pretty good, so we thought, well, you know, we're sitting in a recording studio all this time, we're in front of a 24-track machine, and the machine doesn't applaud for you when you do anything good, so we thought, well, we got to go out and get some instant gratification.
We were screaming at it.
Really, you know, nothing was happening except the needles were going like that. So we thought, well, we'll go out and play live, and the first thing we needed was a name. So we chose a name that was controversial without really being controversial. So that's to say, if you know what the name means, fine, and if you don't, that's fine too. It's a bug, right? You know. So, right, you know, flying around, stinging you on the rear. So, after we had a name, we thought, well, we were going to release an independent single, or we were entertaining the idea of releasing an independent single. So we thought, well, we got to do something to make people aware that we got a product on the shelf to be bought. And we never did the single, but we started doing these bizarre things on stage to get attention, because the first time we played a gig live, we drew like 33 people and made $67, right? So we went back to the drawing board for about 2 weeks, and we started doing these things. We started telling people that we were going to do these things. The next time we played somewhere, the place was packed, and we made like about $500. Next time we go, God, we're on the road to riches here now, boy.
On a roll.
Right, really. Wow.
Big plans for their next tour, which does begin in late November.
Some things on the inside of the album sleeve that you'll see this time, which is called The Last Command, which will be out relatively soon, where you slide out the inner sleeve and it's a picture of our 4 heads on stakes, and you'll see those heads on the stage, and the eyes light up red and the fog comes out of the mouth, and nice little things like that. Creates lasting images when a kid tries to go to sleep at night.
Alan Hubbard with you, Metal Music Half Hour, and I've got a special guest today with me. It's Blackie Lawless of Wasp.
The
Blackie,
one and only.
Here he is. He's lead singer, guitar player, and producer for Wasp.
And sometimes I'm even my own roadie.
A busy man, you are.
Very.
You guys have a new album called Inside the Electric Circus. We don't have a copy of it right here.
That's okay. Take my word for it.
You should have brought
very, very
6
good.
with you.
Well, that's okay.
And you're touring really hard right now.
We're in the process of doing about 4 months right now in North America. We just finished 2.5 months in the UK and Europe, which we drug our cute little tushes around through the mud there through that entire time. And it was very, very successful. And we're very, very happy about doing it. But there's nothing like being back here in the States.
How extensive is your...
It sounds like a Beach Boys song, doesn't it?
Nothing like being in the United States.
I know the song.
How extensive is your U.S. tour?
Well, we'll be here till the end of April, and then we're going to Japan again for about a month, and then we're going to come back here and resume work on a live album, which we have not done as of yet, and should be out sometime in August.
Great. You're going to produce that?
Theoretically. But then the whole vicious cycle starts all over again, so.
New LP's called Inside the Electric Circus. Why don't you tell us about the title?
Inside the Electric Circus is a compilation of ideas of things that have happened to us touring the last 3 or 4 years. And it could probably best be summed up by the title track itself, because in the chorus it says, "Welcome to life inside the electric circus. The animals are all insane, God help us." And that's a pretty good idea of what really goes on when the band stands on the stage and looks down at that audience, because they do have a tendency to get excited.
Yeah. So why don't you talk a little bit about the difference between, I mean, you tour a lot in the UK. You have a lot of fans in the UK, in fact. Do you notice a difference between the UK fans?
I really don't see a great difference between the two, because satellite has changed everything. I mean, a kid in London knows what the same kid in Little Rock, Arkansas is doing on the same day. That same kid in Little Rock, Arkansas knows what's going on in Tokyo on the same day. So really, you hear stories about how sedate the Japanese audiences are and things like that, and they very politely sit there and applaud, and that's it. Well, if they do that, they haven't been doing that at our shows, I'll tell you that, because like I said, they have a tendency to get worked up. So I really don't notice a lot of difference. You see economic climates change and things like that, and social attitudes, but I think fans are fans wherever you go.
Yeah. Well, coming up, we've got 4 videos in a row. Metal Music Half Hour continues. We'll be back with Blackie Lawless from Wasp. We're going to talk about his private passions. We found out something about him. We'll be back with him in a minute. With you, it's Metal Music Half Hour. Blackie Lawless from Wasp is with us today. We're having a good time. In fact, Well, Inside the Electric Circus new LP, you're touring all over right now. But we found out, aside from touring, you have a little secret passion. It's not very secret, but there it is. You collect antique cars, sort of?
I am a Jaguar fanatic. And probably when this is all over and I'm old and gray somewhere, you're going to see me have a Jaguar dealership in California. I'm serious about that. There's something about the way that they're mechanically engineered, and it's not just the skin-deep shell that attracts people to them. They're magnificently engineered pieces of work, and I could probably, well, let's put it this way. To give you an idea how much I'm into it, I'm buying a ranch this year, or this summer, outside of Los Angeles, and I'm having the garage redone in it, and in the front of the garage I'm having a pit dug in the middle of it, and I'm having air tanks put in there so I can have hydraulic lift put in the bottom of one of them so I can get in and work on it myself, and that's how much I'm into it. And to tell you the truth, this is the only thing that I have in my life that takes my mind completely off the music, and when I'm up to my elbows in grease, I'm like a pig in slop. I mean, it really, you know, it gets my mind off of it and things like that, and I'm really, really in another world when I'm doing that, so.
That sounds great.
Plus, I just bought another new toy over the summer. I bought a 37 Ford, which is a very rare model for that decade, for the 30s. It's very similar to the ZZ Top type car.
Cool.
So,
we've got
big boys and their toys, right?
Yeah, big toys. We've got a video from Def Leppard coming up. And it's 4 in a row.
I guess that's me.
Yes?
Well,
Def
for
Leppard?
you people that don't know what's been going on here, I was telling them we just finished this European tour. And these boys over there, they like to have a good time. And they were coming to our shows. They're allegedly making a record right now, which they swear to God is going to be out sometime soon. But saying that they like to party a little bit is like calling King Kong a monkey. You know, I mean, it does lose something in the translation, but they're good boys nevertheless. It should be out sometime soon.
Okay. Blackie Lawless from Wasp, thanks for coming by.
Thank you.
And good luck with the tour and the LP.
Thanks,
and a new album out this summer, you said, maybe?
Yep. Good. Well, it'll be out in August. New live album.
Great. Okay, we're going to go to Def Leppard now.
Hi there, this is Blackie Lawless from Wasp. I'm just sitting around my house here on a leisurely Monday evening, here in wonderful sunny Southern California with my good buddy Mick Wall, getting ready to talk about any and everything you want to hear. My problem is that I'm very passionate about anything that it is that I really like to do. My problem is there's not enough of me to go around. This is our 6th record now, or 5th or 6th record. Sometimes, see, I can't remember now. 5th record. But in some ways, it feels like the 50th. But you get to a point, like I said, where you can't think anymore about what's right or what's wrong with you. So you've got to literally fall back and regroup. I'm going to do what I want to do, and I don't care about pressure from a label, and I don't care about when I'm supposed to go on tour. And all the time this is going on, you've got the fans in the back of your mind. You keep thinking, if I'm gone for a year and a half or 2 years, are they going to forget me? Then all these paranoias creep into you, and they become demons that visit you in the night. Everything about this record, with the exception, there's only one track on this record that did not have some sort of social comment on it. That's a song called Mean Man, which is short for Mean Motherfucking Man, which is a song about Chris Holmes. I I don't want to get to the point where we're so serious that we've lost sight of having fun anymore. But why can't you still have fun, but say something along the way? And that's what we're trying to do with this. I mean, you come up with an album called The Headless Children, and immediately everybody's going to think out of us, well, Wasp, The Headless Children, what are they doing now? It's not that at all. The Headless, well, the title track is an anti-nuclear war song. I got into rock and roll to get my dick sucked. You know, I mean, let's face it, I'm not going to lie about it. Of course, as you get older, other things become important. I'm not saying that that's still not a priority, but there are other things that are important in your life. A rock band will never change the world. Never. Hey, the closest thing we've ever seen is Elvis and the Beatles, and about the most they did. They influenced people socially. But let's face it, you start dealing with politics, and these guys are fucking heavy. They are heavy, and they don't give a flying fuck what goes on in show business. The only thing they care about in show business is who they can use to garner votes for them when it comes to an election. These guys run the goddamn world. I've been given a gift that I can speak. I'm aware of it, and I know that out of the mouth comes the power to change. I do envision a time 10, 15 years from now where I'd be a senator. I've got very definite ideas on doing things like this. This is the one and only Blackie Lawless, a Wasp. And you know, sometimes in our travels all around the world, we get little gifts from time to time, like little Blackie here. So just remember, if it's lewd, crude, and rude, it's hard and heavy. This is a benefit for Find the Children, and our record is called The Headless Children, and I says, well, if you let us call it Find the Headless Children, he failed to see the humor in that, so, but we're here nonetheless.
LAWLESS here. I have to go down a little bit.
But I like it when you go down. We can't say that, can we? So what have you been doing lately?
10 years on the air, goodbye.
Tell us what you've been doing lately. What kind of trouble have you been up to other than tonight?
I'm cultivating the Don Johnson look here, and I'm getting ready.
It's very good.
You like that? Yeah, it's like, you know, you got to swallow a lot of cactus milk to get this.
And have people been mistaking you for Don here?
Except for my pants. I'm getting ready to start a solo record. Sometime after the first year. Has nothing to do with Wasp. Wasp are still an entity. It's just something that I've wanted to do for a long time. And it's going to be a lot different than what we've been doing in the past, but there wouldn't be a solo record without it now, would it?
But is it going to be called Blackie or Blackie Lawless or Blackie Lives?
Well, no, it's just, well, my first name is Steve. And it's like, to broaden my horizons a little bit, I think I'm going to call it Steve and Blackie Lawless.
Sounds very nice.
Esoteric, to say the least.
Okay. I also understand you got a new car.
Yeah, Adam would be interested in this. Adam's got one of those crummy New York mobiles back there. But I just bought a new Pantera, and it's, I gotta tell you, book on it's 175 miles an hour. Scary monster.
Well, back from cars to who knows what else. Back into New York from this madness, you, Adam.
See ya.